Anger is a natural human emotion, one that everyone experiences from time to time. But when anger becomes overwhelming or leads to negative consequences, it's important to recognize the warning signs and take steps to manage it effectively. Understanding how to recognize your personal warning signs and knowing when to step away from a triggering situation can make a profound difference in your emotional well-being and relationships. Anger doesn't usually erupt out of nowhere. It tends to build, often starting with subtle signals that, if ignored, can escalate into more intense reactions. The first step in managing anger is learning to tune in to these early warning signs. These signs can be physical, emotional, or behavioral, and they are unique to each individual. Physically, you might notice your heart rate increasing, your muscles tensing, or your breathing becoming shallow and rapid. Perhaps your face feels hot, your fists clench, or your jaw tightens. These bodily sensations are your body's way of signaling that you're starting to feel threatened or upset. Emotionally, you might sense irritation, frustration, or a growing sense of injustice. You might notice your thoughts becoming more negative or rigid, focusing on how unfair or unacceptable a situation feels. Behaviorally, you might raise your voice, become sarcastic, or withdraw from the conversation. Recognizing these signs early is crucial. The sooner you can identify that anger is building, the more options you have to respond constructively. One helpful technique is to keep a journal or mental log of situations where you felt your anger rising. Reflect on what you felt in your body, what thoughts ran through your mind, and how you behaved. Over time, patterns will emerge, and you'll become more adept at noticing your unique warning signs. Once you've recognized that you're becoming angry, the next step is to step away from the triggering situation if possible. This isn't about avoiding problems or suppressing your feelings. Instead, it's about giving yourself space to cool down and regain perspective. When we're in the heat of the moment, our ability to think clearly and respond thoughtfully is diminished. Stepping away helps prevent saying or doing things you might later regret. There are many ways to step away from a triggering situation. Sometimes, it's as simple as taking a few deep breaths and counting to 10. Other times, you might need to physically remove yourself from the environment. You could say, "I need a moment to calm down. Let's take a break and talk about this later." Walking outside, splashing water on your face, or sitting quietly in another room can provide the necessary distance to reset. While you're away from the situation, focus on calming your body and mind. Deep breathing is a powerful tool. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold for a few seconds, and exhale gently through your mouth. This activates your body's relaxation response, lowering your heart rate and helping you feel more centered. Progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and then release different muscle groups, can also be effective. Mindfulness techniques can help you stay present and reduce the intensity of your anger. Notice the sensations in your body without judgment. Acknowledge your feelings, but remind yourself that they are temporary and manageable. You might silently repeat a calming phrase, such as, "This feeling will pass," or, "I am in control of my response." As you calm down, reflect on what triggered your anger. Ask yourself what specifically set you off. Was it something someone said or did? Was it a buildup of stress from other areas of your life? Sometimes, anger is a secondary emotion, masking feelings of hurt, fear, or disappointment. Understanding the root cause of your anger can help you address it more effectively. It's also important to challenge any unhelpful thoughts that might be fueling your anger. Notice if you're engaging in all-or-nothing thinking, catastrophizing, or making assumptions about others' intentions. Try to reframe the situation in a more balanced way. For example, instead of thinking, "They never listen to me," you might say, "I'm feeling unheard right now, but that doesn't mean they never care." Once you feel calmer and more in control, you can decide how to address the situation constructively. Sometimes, you might realize that the issue isn't as important as it seemed in the heat of the moment. Other times, you may need to communicate your feelings assertively, using I statements to express how you feel and what you need. For example, "I felt upset when I was interrupted. I'd appreciate it if we could take turns speaking." Practicing self-compassion is vital throughout this process. Everyone gets angry sometimes, and it's okay to make mistakes. What matters is your willingness to learn and grow from each experience. Over time, recognizing your warning signs and stepping away from triggering situations will become more automatic, helping you respond to anger in healthier ways. Building these skills takes practice. You might not get it right every time, and that's okay. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small victories along the way. Notice when you're able to catch yourself before anger takes over, and acknowledge the progress you're making. You can also prepare for triggering situations in advance. If you know certain people or environments tend to provoke your anger, plan ahead. Visualize yourself recognizing your warning signs and stepping away calmly. Remind yourself of your coping strategies, and have a plan for what you'll do if you start to feel overwhelmed. In addition to these individual strategies, seeking support can be incredibly helpful. Talking to a trusted friend, family member, or therapist can provide perspective and encouragement. Sometimes, just knowing that you're not alone in your struggles can make a world of difference. Ultimately, anger is a signal, an invitation to pay attention to your needs, boundaries, and values. By learning to recognize your warning signs and stepping away from triggering situations, you empower yourself to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This not only protects your relationships, but also supports your overall well-being. Remember, managing anger is a journey, not a destination. Each step you take brings you closer to greater self-awareness, resilience, and peace. With practice and patience, you can transform your relationship with anger, using it as a tool for growth rather than a source of distress. Take a deep breath, trust in your ability to change, and know that every moment is a new opportunity to choose calm and compassion for yourself and for those around you.